morning, good afternoon, good evening. You're watching makoge.com. Today we'll be discussing on clearances. What are the different clearances that we have in construction buildings? How do we give clearance? And what is clearance in a construction project? Actually, a clearance is giving way for the other trade to carry out their own job or to carry out their own activities. As we all know, in construction projects, we have different services that are to be installed in buildings, as such as we have different trades or different contractors that are involved in carrying out a project, which is very important to understand. So based on that, we will not have all these different services carried out at the same time or operating at the same time. So the clearance procedure now is to give way for the other activity to be carried out, as we've seen in project planning or in a Gantt chart. We have finish to finish activities, start to start activities, start to finish activities, and finish to start activities. So this clearly shows us or let us understand that we will not have all activities carried out at the same time. So we have a certain activity that should finish for another one to start. So based on that, we require these clearance procedures, sign off from one trade so that we enable the other trade to proceed with their own job, which is very important. Okay, as you can see here, we have clearance which we need to give to the others to proceed with their own work, which is the ceiling closure. So, but before we proceed with the ceiling closure, we need to ensure that we have certain services that are completed in that particular location before we give clearance or signing off for the clearance, which is very important to understand. So we have to ensure that we've gone through the different services as per our scope of work to ensure that all these different services have been completed, raise inspection for these different services, and they are approved before we are given sign off for this particular location for ceiling closure. Okay, for ceiling closure, we have to ensure that we have all the different services that are installed on the slab. As you can see, this is a soffit. So before they close the floor ceiling, we have to ensure that we have all the different services installed above floor ceiling. So if we're talking for the lighting systems now, we have to ensure that we install our GI conduit, which already we've done. And then after the GI conduit is done, we have to ensure that we provide labeling. As you can see, this is labeling. So all these different colors for the labelings represents the different services which are installed in that building, as you can see. So for lighting systems, we've already installed all the GI conduits, and the next step before closing the ceiling, we have to ensure that we do all our drops. As you can see, for the Copex or the flexible conduits which we've dropped, our wires are right inside. So everything has been done, and then we carry out continuity and mega test. So we will ensure that we have the first fix which is done, second fix which is a wire pulling, as well as the continuity and mega test which is done. We raise inspection, ensure that it is being approved by the consultant before we can proceed with giving clearance for that particular location. So basically, for all the different services, the same way we have to follow. Small power systems, we have to ensure that all the different services that are to be installed above floor ceiling for small power systems, we ensure that they are all completed before we are signing off or giving clearance for that particular location. For fire alarm systems also, we have to ensure if we have smoke detectors, but in this location we don't have any smoke detectors in this location, because the floor ceiling is really the height from the soffit to the floor ceiling is really it's not the height is not that much, so we don't require any floor ceiling we don't require any smoke detector at the floor ceiling level. So it's very important to understand all this. So when we are giving clearance, we ensure that all the different services have been done, and we do the proper sign off to ensure that everything has been installed on site properly, which is very important. So after the sign off have been done, once we do this complete sign off of the clearance, so while they're doing the final closing of the ceiling, so we also need to ensure that all our different light points, accessories that are supposed to be at the full ceiling level, we have to make sure that we check with the RCP, which is a reflected ceiling plan, to ensure that all the different locations for the different accessories have been dropped as per the RCP. So we will have our different devices installed at the exact location that are supposed to be installed as per the shop drawing as well as the RCP. So we will go through the cable tray. As you can see, cable tray trunkings, be it whatever, even the GI conduits. When we have penetration, which is living from one room to another, crossing a block wall, so we have to ensure that we provide sealants for these different locations. As you can see, I'll give you a quick view of it. As you can see, we have fire sealant which is installed right here, but we have to ensure to know which kind of wall. So this wall is a fire rated wall, so we have non-fire rated wall. We just have to put in just a PU foam or the non-fire rated sealant, which we have to provide for that case. So all the different penetration, we have to ensure that we have our fire sealants or the sealants that are provided, and then as well as putting a sticker. Then this inspection also will be raised before we sign off for that particular service, which is very important. As you can see, also the GI conduit penetration as well, we've done the fire stopper, which is very important. So everything has been done. We have to also check also if we have FCUs that are installed in this particular location. Ensure that we have power that is supplying this particular FCU. Provide the specific equipment that are going to control this particular FCU, be it probably FCU control panel. In this case, we don't have any FCU control panel, so we will have our isolators that need to be installed. As you can see here, we don't have FCU yet, so in this room we cannot give clearance for this particular room or for this particular toilet. So we have to ensure that the FCU is installed, we give power to it, install our isolator, as well as doing the termination before we can give clearance for the ceiling closure, which is very important. So this video is just for ceiling closure. I'll do another video for wall closure as well as screed, so we get to understand what are the different things that we have to take into consideration before giving clearance for a particular location. I'll take you now to another room which clearance already has been done. We've checked all the different services that are to be installed in this location. Everything is done correctly, properly, and we've raised inspection as well and approved by the consultant. So we've given clearance for ceiling closure, and ceiling closure has been done, as well as we are doing coordination, follow up with the ceiling closure contractor to ensure that all the different locations for accessories, light fixtures, speaker points, we have some sensors for light sensors which we have to follow up as well with the RCP to ensure that they are all dropped at the specific location. And the cutout also, which is done, is as per the device that is supposed to be installed, so we don't have any discrepancy, which is very important. So this is just a quick understanding on how to give clearance for ceiling closure. So when we are giving clearance, we understand what we are giving and what are the different things that we have to take into consideration before giving clearance for ceiling closure. Thank you very much. Till then, you're watching MacRocket.com. Do like, subscribe, comment as well, so we can best improve on our video lessons, which is very important. And also share, keep sharing, very important. Thank you very much. Till then, you're watching MacRocket.com.